Hello class, welcome to lab number 5, Managing Files and Directory. Before we start working on lab number 5, I want you to take a minute to organize your GitHub repository if you haven't done so. Notice that when I open my folder here, CIS 106 Fault 22, in my virtual machine I have one folder for pretty much every piece of material that I work in the class. I have one for week reports, for which I create a folder for every week report that I make, so that all the files pertaining to that report are in one place. This allows us to better navigate our project pretty much. And then the same thing I do for labs. See, lab 1, 2, 3, and 4, all the files for lab 4 in one place, and all the files for lab 3 in one place. If I look at it in my terminal over here, it might give you a better look at what I'm talking about. Let's use the tree command for tree. See, as I have cheat sheets, here are the cheat sheets. There is nothing in final projects as we haven't started working on that. Look at labs, lab 1, all the files are lab 1, and so on. You don't need to use a terminal for this. You can just do it graphically right here. Just make sure all your files are well organized, because if I see that you have a mess in your GitHub repository, I will start deducting points from your submission. You know, we should keep our files consistent because that makes it easier to manage. Now, since I'm going to start working on lab number 5, I am going to open VS Code real quick, and I'm going to make sure that I am good to go to start working on my project. Sorry, on my lab 5. And again, you can do this in VS Code, or you can do it in the file manager as you prefer. So I'm going to click on labs, and with labs selected, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it lab 5. Then I'm going to click on labs 5. Notice how the little arrow changed to the down position, and I'm going to create a file called lab5.md. That's the markdown file where I'm going to put in all my submission. I'm going to save my file, and then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my GitHub repository and my computer are up to date. This is the message you should receive. Always make sure that you're running your git commands from your CIS 106 folder from your repository. And I'm just going to make a quick push. Okay, now I'm going to close VS Code for now because I'm going to start to work on my lab 5 instructions. So let me open my terminal. I'm going to be using Tilix for this lab, and I'm going to change the transparency a little bit to make it a little darker. There you go, that's great. Let's increase the font a little. Okie dokie. So the presentation for this lecture is right over here. Video is going to be right over here. Notice that I have the presentation open over here for one particular reason. If you go to the end of the presentation, you're going to notice that we have a little cheat sheet for managing files and directories. I would like you to download this cheat sheet because we are going to use it. Now, I'm going to move this file to my CIS 106 repository, cheat sheets, and I'm going to put it right over here. Okie dokie. So I'm going to open this, and I'm going to have it right here on the side because I'm going to use it every once in a while. Okay. Now, question 1, creating files and directories. Now, we're going to create a directory in your home directory, right? Your home directory. Now, where is that? When you open your terminal, you are at your home directory. You are in your house. So we're going to make a folder here called lab 5. So for that, we use the mkdir command, which stands for make directory, lab 5. Change your pwd to lab 5. So we're going to go cd lab 5. Perfect. Now, create 3 directories, pets, docs, and songs inside the directory. And then inside each directory, we're gonna create 2 directories called old and new. Okie dokie, so we're gonna do mkdir, and the directories are called pets, docs, and songs. And then inside each one of them, we're gonna create a folder called old and new. Perfect, so we're gonna do mkdir, pets, old, and then pets, new. Right? And then inside docs, we're gonna do the same thing, old, and then docs, new. And then inside songs, it's the same thing. Let me make it a little smaller so that you see the whole command, old, and then songs, new. There is an easier way to do this, but we're doing it the long way because we need to practice. You can't understand the short way unless you understand the long way. Enter, and if I want to see if all of this is created in the right place, I can do 3 like we saw in the previous lab, and then notice that we have docs, new and old, pets, new and old, songs, new and old. Inside your new and old directories, create 3 files, file 1, file 2, and file 3. And then use the tree command to list lab 5 directories. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna only do the first one. I'm gonna do for pets, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna let you do docs and song on your own. The whole point of this is to practice. So we're gonna do touch because that allows us to create empty files, and now I'm gonna do pets, old, and then here I'm gonna create file 1, and then touch, pets, old, file 2, pets, old, file 3, pets, old. Oh, let me do this one first. And now I'm gonna use the arrow keys to edit the previous command, and I'm gonna change this to new. I'm gonna change this to new, and the last one. Now, once you have created all the directories and all the files, you are going to do the tree command in your current working directory, and it should look something similar to that, except yours is going to be much, much longer, so you will have to take more than one screenshot for your submission, right? Now, I'm going to take a screenshot of my directory over here, of my terminal, so I'm going to go to System Tools, and there you go. This is my answer for question 1. I'm gonna save this inside lab number 5, and I'm gonna call this q1.1.png. If you take more than one screenshot, then follow my naming convention as I lay it out over here, as it's gonna make our life very easy later on during the creation of the markdown file. Now that I have completed question 1, I'm gonna move along to question number 2, removing files and directories. I'm gonna be clear. CD, I have cleared my terminal, we can continue. Change your PWD to serve, so we're gonna do CD, serve. Remove the file 1, file 2, and file 3 from this directory, right? So in pets new, I'm gonna get rid of file 1, file 2, and file 3. So the command for removing is rm. Now, the files are located over here, but I know this is in my home directory, so I'm gonna start with home, and then lab 5, then pets, then new, right? You can do this the long way as well by simply starting with home, your username, and then lab 5, then pets, new. Now I can start providing my files. File 1 first, file 1, right? And if you want, you can provide the path for the 3 files right over there, one after each other, or you can do them one by one. I didn't specify how I wanted this to be done over here, so whichever of the 2 ways you are more comfortable with is fine, as long as you don't cd into this directory to do it. You have to do it using absolute path. So I'm gonna type enter, then I'm gonna delete file 2, and I'm gonna delete file number 3. And yes, this could have been done in a single command by specifying the absolute path of each of the files right over here, one after each other. Remove the pets directory, again, without changing to the labs directory. So we're gonna remove pets. So rm lab5 and then pets. Notice that this command is going to fail. Why? I'll explain in a moment. First, this is a directory, and rm on its own cannot remove directories. You need an option for that. Also, this command, this folder pets is not empty. So in Linux, you cannot delete non-empty directories. So for that, we're going to modify the rm command to provide the -r option. This is going to recursively delete all the files inside pets, and then it's going to delete the folder pets. Notice that my command executed successfully now. We're going to remove docs and songs without changing your current working directory. I will let you to do this one on your own, right? It's very similar to this one. The difference will be the folder that you are removing. Remove lab5 directory without changing your current working directory. Again, I will let you do this one on your own as well. You know, you should be able to do this one, but if you need any help, you have here the little cheat sheet on how to remove files, and you saw here how we were able to remove files. There are also more examples in the presentation. Okay, let's move along to question number 3. First, let's take a screenshot of our terminal over here. Obviously, yours is gonna be bigger. I am skipping some things to let you practice on your own and to make sure the video is not too long. Question 2.1. Gonna click on save. And then we're gonna go to question 3, moving files and directory. Make sure that you're working from your home directory. And to make sure that I'm home, all I have to do is type cd and I'm home. Now, we're gonna do clear. Run the following command. So you're gonna copy this. And before I do that, I need to make sure that I remove the lab5 directory. Okay. Now we can copy and paste. Press enter, and your output should look like this. If it doesn't look like that, you're doing something wrong. I don't need this in the screenshot, so we can clear. In your home directory, create the following directories: lab5 images, lab5 audio, lab5 video, and lab5 docs. So we're gonna do mkdir lab5 images, lab5 audio, lab5 video, and lab5 docs. Done. Now move all the files inside the lab5 directory to their respective new directory in your home directory. Now this requires that I explain this a little bit graphical, so just so that you understand what we're talking about. So notice that in my home directory I have lab5 audio, docs, images, and video. But we also have a new lab5 folder that contains all the files that we downloaded earlier using this command over here. What I'm asking is, identify these type of files, like visually. Then move the files to where they are supposed to go here based on the name of the directories. So all the audio files, right, like MP3, should go in here. All the documents, like PDF, should go in here. All the images should go in here, and all the videos should go in here. The easiest way to do this is by, you can either open a new terminal, and if you're using Tilix like me, you can just click on the bottom over here, which is gonna split your terminal in two. And we are gonna do the following. We're gonna do 3 lab5, which is gonna give us all the files in lab number 5, right over here. You can also do this. ls-x lab5, which is also do it in a single column, which is gonna give you all the files, but they are gonna be sorted by file extension, which is gonna make them easier to identify which file is which. So at the beginning we have a GIF and we have 2 JPEGs. These are images. We also have PNG files, which are also images, right? If you're unsure what a particular file is, you can also run the file command on the file itself, which should give you some information about the file. For example, I can do file lab5 image5.gif. And notice that this tells me this is a PNG image data. Right? Now, let's get cracking. The first file that I'm gonna move is image 5. So I'm gonna do env, then the source, meaning the file that I'm moving lab5 image 5.gif, right? I'm moving this file. I'm also gonna move image 1 and 2.jpg. So again, lab5 image 1, and then again lab5 image 2.jpg. So I'm gonna move these 3 files in one shot. Now I need to provide the destination, where the files are going. Now these guys are gonna go to the lab5 images folder. So I'm gonna type lab5 images. Notice that the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I'm in the home directory. And lab5 and lab5 images are relative, meaning they are located inside my home directory. As you can see graphically in the file manager over here, right? I'm working here in the terminal and these folders are inside here. Now, when I press enter, notice that no error was thrown. And if I run the lsx1 command one more time, you are not gonna see the files there anymore because they have been moved. Now, we are going to continue. I'm gonna move audio, silence, and song to my audio directory. So we do lv lab5, this is called audio.mp3, and then lab5 silence song.mp3, perfect, and then we go lab5 silence.mp3, and then the destination. The destination is lab5 audio. Enter, and again, if you run the ls command here one more time, notice that we don't have it here anymore. Next, we are going to move videos and docs. I will let you do that on your own. You can do this part and this part on your own. At the end, right, when you're done, you should only have wallpapers lab5. That's the only thing that should exist in this folder. The rest should be in its proper directory. Inside your lab5 directory, you will find a folder called wallpapers lab5. Move this directory to your pictures directory and rename it new wallpapers. Now, we can do this in one single command, or we can do it in 2 separate commands. I suggest you review the mv command for renaming files and moving files because there is an example there. However, I'm gonna do it right here with you. So we're gonna do mv lab5 wallpapers lab5. That's my source. That's what I'm moving. Where am I moving it to? It's my destination. I'm gonna put it in pictures. Now, they are also telling me, I want you to move the folder, but rename it as well. So all I need to do is provide a name here of a file that does not exist, and it will move it and rename it in a single command. The name that I want is new wallpapers with capital N. So new wallpapers. Press enter and notice that my folder was moved and renamed. You can confirm that by either doing ls pictures, and notice that here we have a new wallpapers directory, or you can use the graphical file manager if you so desire. Move this directory to your pictures directory and rename a new wallpapers. We did that. Now rename lab5 to lab-5. Notice that we have a lowercase l -5. So we're gonna do mv for renaming lab5, and we're gonna name it lab-5, enter, and we're done. Okay, again, remember, I only did half of this command, so you gotta do the rest on your own. Okay, we're gonna take a screenshot of my terminal over here. And we're gonna call this question 3.1. Save. Question number 4. Copying files and directories. Now, we're gonna go to pexels.com and we're gonna download 3 wallpapers. Great, so we're gonna go to pexels.com and I'm gonna get this one, and this one. Save image as, and we're gonna put it in the downloads folder. I will not change in the name, I'm just gonna download them. and then we're gonna save image as and download. And finally, okay, well, I'm gonna grab your bike, my friend. Save image as and save. So I got my 3 files here. Copy these wallpapers to your pictures, new wallpapers directory. Now here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our second terminal. We're gonna cd into downloads, and we're gonna take a look at what we have in here. So we downloaded Pexels Photo 1, Photo 2, and Photo 3. These are the 3 files we want to work with, right? And let me do a little cleanup of my downloads folder. -R, Firefox, and MS, and ms.zip, and lab4 files.zip. Great. Good. So we have these 3 files over here. This is what we're going to be moving to pictures, new wallpapers. So we're going to do mv downloads, right? Because it's in here. And then we're going to work with the first one. So we start Pexels. I use the tab key for auto completion. 1, 2. Tab again for auto completion. And then we're going to provide its destination, which is pictures, new wallpapers. I did the first one. I'll let you do the others on your own. Create a new directories in your downloads directory. Use whatever naming convention you want. Download 3 wallpapers and move them to your new directory. Okay, perfect. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm just going to move the others too as well so that I have more clean counters to work with. MV, downloads, Pexels, 2, and then downloads, Pexels, 2, and then pictures, new wallpapers. Okay, clear this, and then in my downloads folder, they want me to create a new folder. I'm gonna do mkdir, new dir. That's good enough. They told me to name it however I want it, so that's what I did. We're gonna download 3 more wallpapers, so let's do that. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this one, I'm gonna go with this one, and this one. Okay. Now we need to move them to our new directory. So, right, so we are working in this terminal and we're using this just to help ourselves. So we're gonna type ls, and these are the pictures that I have over here, and I need to move them right here. So we're gonna do mv, downloads, Pexels Photo -225, downloads, new directory. Again, source, destination. mv, downloads, Pexels Photo -84, downloads, new directory. Finally, we're gonna do the last one. mv, downloads, Pexel Photo, downloads, new directory. Okay, if you type ls, notice that the only thing you have now is new directory, and if you do ls new directory, your files are right over here. So copy your new directory to the pictures directory. Notice that I said copy, so we're gonna do cp for copy, downloads, and then new directory. This is our source. Our destinations is pictures. This command will fail. Let's see why. -R not specified, omitting directory. You must provide the -R option when you are copying folders. So we're gonna provide the -R right over here. By the way, you can put it in the end as well. It doesn't necessarily has to be at the beginning. I just like to keep it for convention. Now notice that it didn't throw an error and it was able to move it. Now we're gonna remove the new directory from the downloads directory, right? So we're gonna get rid of this folder here. So we're gonna do rm downloads new directory. Notice that this is going to throw an error. Why? Because this is a directory, right? And even if we use the rm dir command, downloads, new directory, it will also throw an error, right? This is expected. Why? Because the directory is not empty. Always keep it in the back of your head. You cannot remove non-empty directories, and you cannot remove directories just using rm by itself, right? Either you clean the directory and then you use the remove directory command, or you get rid of it altogether using rm-r. And now it's gone. Take a screenshot of your terminal showing the commands you used to answer the question, and that's what we are going to do. Save, and we're going to call this lab question 4.1. Save. Okay, challenge question. Now, challenge question. This is supposed to make you think. I will not answer this question for you. What I will do is that I will turn off the recording, solve the question, and then show you how it's supposed to look like in the end. And then if you get it to that point, you were able to do it correctly. If you don't get it to that point, take a screenshot of the commands that you use to get to where you got. And I'll give you partial credit for the work that you did. Okay, so once you do 1, 2, and 3, we're gonna do number 4. This I will do with you because I want you to do this one correctly. I have created a file called site.html inside lab 5 challenge questions. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna open a graphical file manager and I'm gonna go inside lab 5 challenge questions, right? It's supposed to be right over here in my home directory, and you're supposed to have at this point this file, and inside assets you're supposed to have this picture in here, right? Because that is question 1 to 3. I'm gonna open this by open with a text editor. I'm gonna copy this content here, paste it in my file, and then just click save. I can close that now. I can close this now. I'm gonna open this file site.html inside Firefox, and I'm gonna take a screenshot of what I see here. You are supposed to see the image that you downloaded from the internet in the website. So if we go here, home, at 5 challenge question, and we click on open with another application, click Firefox, click select. That's what it's supposed to look like. The image you downloaded from the internet should display right over here. Take a screenshot of this. If you didn't get to that point, right, because at the end of the day, the only thing that I want to see for this question is the commands that you use to answer the question, right? Just so that I know that you did it in the command line the right way, or the way that I'm expecting in this lab. And then a screenshot of this. So 2 screenshots. You're gonna take a screenshot of your terminal once you have completed that. So let me close that, take a screenshot, Q5.1, and then you're gonna take a screenshot of Firefox showing the image and the text. Save. Question 5.2. Save. Right. If you didn't get it to that point, still take a picture and then show me over here the commands that you used till that point, and I'll give you partial credit as I said before. We're gonna close that, we're gonna close that, and now we are going to create our submission. We don't need the terminal open anymore. What we need is VS Code. So programming, Visual Studio Code, minimize. Okay, make sure that you are working inside your CIS 106 folder. That's the only folder you should be working with, right? Otherwise, this is gonna create a lot of problems and we don't want that. Notice that this is green, meaning we have stuff that is not on GitHub yet and that is not also being tracked by Git, so we need to fix that. First, let's add a title, lab 5, and then we are going to add question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm gonna copy this, Q, then Q. I'm gonna copy this to my clipboard to make my life easy. And then we have here for question 1, we have question 1.1. I only have one screenshot for question 1, and then for question 2, I only have one screenshot. For question 3, I only have one screenshot. And for question 4, again, I only have one screenshot. You can access this menu by pressing the Control key and the space bar at the beginning of the queue, and it should open that menu. And then for question 5, I have 2, so it's question 5.1 and question 5.2. Let's save this and let's do a preview. And all my images are over here the way they're supposed to, so we are good to go. Now we're gonna submit. Clear in my terminal. We're gonna pull first to make sure everything is the way it's supposed to, like whatever we have committed in Git is also in GitHub. Then we're gonna do an add to add all of these new files to Git, and we are going to commit lab 5 complete, and then Git push. We're done. Oh, I forgot my PDF file, so we're gonna fix that. Right click and export to PDF. And there we go. We have our beautiful PDF file over here. Let's do a git add, commit, and push. Great. What you're gonna give me? The URL to this file inside GitHub, right? So go here, github.com. And by the way, the Git commands are right over here as well, so that you don't make a mistake with the commands. And we go inside labs. Notice how organized the repository is. That's how yours should be. Lab number 5, and click on lab5.md. This is the URL that you're gonna give me. Not the URL to your repository, but to this file over here, and it should look like mine. Right? So you give me this URL in Blackboard, and you give me the PDF file. That's it. I'm gonna close that. When you complete lab number 5, we're gonna turn off our virtual machine, sorry. Make sure you turn it off properly too, the right way. And then once we're here, we're gonna do a little cleanup of our snapshots, right? So I'm gonna delete all of these snapshots because my virtual machine is on a very good state, and this is occupying a space in my computer that that it will be good to have back. So I'm gonna delete this, and I'm gonna click on delete. Gonna get rid of this as well. Okay, I'm inside my virtual machine over here. I'm gonna turn it off one more time. Actually, not that. I will do a little update. Wait until this upgrade is done, and we're gonna take another snapshot of our virtual machine. Okay, now that the update is done, we can turn this computer off and take our snapshot. knowing very well that the next time that we turn on our machine, we are on a good working state and that we have installed the latest updates available to our Ubuntu system. So I'm gonna go over here again, snapshots, take, and let's label this lab 5 complete. I believe it's 12. Okay, and that's it. You have completed lab number 5. Make sure that you work on your final project, at least read and watch the video that I will post next, and see you in class.